and we have the privilege of being the largest gold mining company in Africa. And so when we think about our business in Ghana, we see it as an extension of who we are as an African mining company. So when I think about Tarkwa, it's a really important part of our business. In fact, 25% of our production comes out of Ghana, our global production. A quarter of our production is from Ghana. In some respects, we were very disappointed to see that Damang is no longer part of our group, because over 30 years of being part of Damang and seeing the success of Damang, it was a time, part of the regulatory changes, that moved on to different ownership. What we are proud of, though, is we have set Damang up for a sustainable future. And when we started the conversation with the government about what the future of Damang was, we were very clear that the most important thing for us is that all of those jobs and livelihoods that were dependent on Damang mine continued. So we invested quite a lot in ensuring that we had a plan for the sustainability of Damang. We were willing to hand that asset over to ensure that that asset was sustainable. And what we've seen today is that the work over the last 12 months has meant that we've now got a mine that's continued without interruption. And that, to us, was the most important thing. But I will say this today, is that we are not going to give up in any way on Tarkwa. So in November last year, we submitted a lease extension for the Tarkwa mine, which would give us, at least for the initial term, another 20 years of mining at Tarkwa. This will require quite a significant amount of reinvestment. We're going to have to move a huge amount of more material. We're going to have to invest a whole lot in additional fleet and equipment. That's going to require additional manpower to actually move that material over the next 20 years. But what that will do is set up Tarkwa to be a really successful world-class asset for another 20 years. And then during that time, we can consider how we continue to extend the life of that asset beyond that period. So we are very committed to Tarkwa. And if there's a disappointment that I don't spend enough time at the mine in Tarkwa, is because unfortunately a lot of the time that I'm spending in Ghana has been to try and lobby the Minister, Minerals Commission. We're meeting this week with the Minister of Finance and all of those politicians who actually have a role to play in the decision about the role that Gold Fields has in the future. So a lot of the work that we're doing and that I'm having to lift is to really try and present the case of why Gold Fields. And if I come back to why Gold Fields and why we feel so convicted about the work that we do, is that our strategy is really clear. We don't just mine gold for the sake of our shareholders, for all of the international shareholders around the world. A key part of our strategy is to make a meaningful difference in the host communities in which we operate. And if I look at the great work